So here's your data from the original problem. Got it in order. You still know the median at 7.5. You always have to find the median before you can get your upper and lower quartile. So your lower quartile, your Q1 is 6. Your upper quartile, Q3 is 8. And as you can see, we split the data into 4 equal groups. We got this. Then we have like the dividing point is 6. Then we have a 7. Then we have this dividing point. Then we have an 8. And then we have the dividing point, this second 8. And then we have a 9. So we have 4 equal groups. That's what we're always doing when we're making our quartiles. Anyway, what is the better choice here? Or I guess we figure out what the range and the IQR are now. So we have 9 minus 1. That gives us 8. Those are our biggest and smallest numbers. We did not need a box and whisker plot to figure out our range. We actually never need a box and whisker plot unless they ask us to make one. And same for IQR. We don't need a box and whisker plot to figure out the IQR. We just take the Q3 minus the Q1, which is 8 minus 6 is 2. So what is our better pick for our measurability? That's a tough one. Let's see what the answer would have been if we were doing this in class. I would have had you write down. The range is 8 miles. The interquartile range is 2 miles. The interquartile range is a better representation of the data because most students travel between 7 and 9 miles. The range makes the data values appear to vary more than they actually do. So remember, we said kind of the easy way to think of this is there's a kind of a big difference between your range and your IQR. You're going to choose the IQR. And you don't have a huge difference, but you still have a pretty significant difference. If we take what was written down here and kind of try to understand what it's saying most of these numbers are inside of the IQR. Here's 6 and 8. This is our interquartile range. This big number, 9, is pretty close. If this was a box and whisker plot, the whisker would be pretty small on this top end. And this one over here, not necessarily an outlier, but it doesn't really fit with the rest of these numbers that are clustered together. You have 6, 7, 8, 8, 9. That's a pretty tight cluster. And then 1 would make it so you'd have kind of a lopsided whisker. You'd have one whisker that's a little bit longer. And because of that, we're going to go with IQR as our better representation because most of the numbers are clustered inside or pretty darn close to the IQR.